Happy Wednesday. Thank you for joining me here again on the Lorden Arts channel. I'm John Lorden. We have an unfortunate update we have to do based on the case that we just talked about last Friday. That's the Searchlight episode where we covered the disappearance of Alex Enslen. Unfortunately, we have a tragic outcome when it comes to that case. Let's go ahead and go over all the news and developments with this and see if there's something we can learn. That's quite honestly for me one of the frustrating things about cases of this nature is I don't know how to raise exposure to this problem. I don't know how to help make young people more aware of how often these occurrences happen. And honestly, Alex, a little bit out of the typical age range that we see for cases like this. But how many times do we have to tell a story about another brokenhearted family when a young man goes out, has a little too much to drink, separates from his friends, and winds up in a water source? I know it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Maybe that's what's the hard part is about telling this story, is there's not an easy throughput for people to understand, not some kind of neat little packaged lesson that you could wrap this up in and then have them share on college campuses to try to get this message out. It's kind of hard to understand, but the statistics don't lie. And I'm not even talking about just the cases that we've talked about here on the channel or the smiley face theory, the smiley face killer theory, which of course you guys know I don't subscribe to. I'm talking about the CDC. I'm talking about drowning statistics, age ranges. It's the information's out there. I just don't know how to pull it together to get that message across to the people that would actually benefit most from it. But let's go ahead and talk about the details of what happened in this case and how the discovery was made. Starting over at fox19.com, police recover body in Westchester Pond. We talked about ponds last episode. We kind of took a look from a satellite view at some that should have been points of interest for this particular case. But of course, we have to remember weather, certainly a factor, especially with that big ice storm that we had move in at this time. But let's continue here. Police are investigating after a body was found in a pond Saturday evening in Westchester. Westchester police responded to the area off of Fountains Boulevard. Barb Wilson, Westchester Public Information Officer, said, Westchester police have been searching this area since early February for Alex Enslen. Police spoke with Alex's family to make them aware of today's discovery, although there is no confirmation that the person recovered was Alex. So we get a little bit of a description on the location here, Fountains Boulevard. If we bring up a quick Google map and take a look at the satellite view, Fountains Boulevard is the corner. Fountains Boulevard and Cincinnati Dayton Road. That's where the bar is. It's literally right here, Old Village Tavern. So just looking at this view, the first thing I was thinking when they're saying Fountains Boulevard is I was wondering, did he somehow, he was last seen down here at the Domino's behind it. Did he somehow come up, go back to the bar, or even farther north of the bar? Because we see we've got a couple of water sources up here. But let's continue with another article here that gives us a little more detail over at WLWT.com. Police say a 911 call alerted them to a body in the water at Union Station Apartments. An adult man was pulled from the water. Quote, I came from my car to check and see what it was, and I was told that there was a body in the lake, an anonymous witness said. The Union Station Apartments are actually down here. So what body of water can they be talking about? Well, we can't use this view. We actually have to kick on the real satellite view, and we'll see there is a substantial pond. As a matter of fact, some of the residents there actually refer to it as their lake. Right here in the Union Station Apartments, this is the body of water where the body was found. And it didn't take long. I think it was only a day or two before they got confirmation. Over at Dayton247now.com, the Butler County Coroner's Office identified the body as Alexander Enslen. The coroner said he accidentally drowned. Same unfortunate outcome that we've heard about in so many of these cases. Right off the bat, I'm just wondering about how he avoided more cameras. I mean, we literally have a Chase Bank that's up here. He had to get around. There's a bunch of businesses at this corner. It seems like he might have come through that corner, but maybe not. Maybe once he got past the Domino's, if he would have jaywalked, he could have cut right across this street here. That would have been a very direct path to where he winds up. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, especially seeing the footpath that we looked at on Friday's video, where it looked like they weren't really walking on main roads when they were coming back from the bar. They were kind of back in through this apartment area, actually, walking through here before he cut back and ran away from his friend and wound up behind the Domino's. So I don't think he actually wound up getting back to Fountains Boulevard. I think if he did, they would have picked him up. We got a White Castle, we got a Chase. If he came through this part right here, I think they would have found him on camera. And they didn't. We know they didn't. But let's go ahead and see if we can get some more detail here over at fox19.com, another article. A couple of weeks back, whenever we opened our window, we would smell something, said one of the residents in the apartments. Actually, a few of them noticed this. They do have animals that live. I mean, you've got a big water source like that, so you're going to have animals around it. And a few of them assumed maybe it was an animal. But they did call the management office. And the management office didn't seem to take any action. I don't know. There seems to be some breakdown. Maybe the management office did try to call it in. Maybe the management office was not aware that there was a missing person from the area. Something kind of broke down, because I would think that's a pretty significant clue that if it was, taken back to the authorities, I think they would have acted on it. And unfortunately, we didn't have that happen. This story seems to have a few what feels like missed opportunities like that. As a matter of fact, over here at journalnews.com, they note that Westchester police previously searched that pond, but the weather conditions, including ice and snow, made it difficult, according to Barb Wilson, township spokesperson. And don't be fooled by this view that we're taking from this, far above. This is a significant water source. It is really big. Watching some of the footage from the ground level gives you a different perspective on how much water is actually in this area. And keep in mind, these aren't single family homes. These are apartment units with multiple families living in them when you're seeing these rooftops here. This is a very, very big body of water. But it just, I don't know. There's this thing with this case. It just feels like a couple of missed opportunities. Would any of it have helped saved Alex's life? Probably not, but maybe could have saved some heartache for his family. And I don't even know if that's true. It's just, it's a really sad situation that here we are talking about another outcome like this. As a matter of fact, those are the words over here at WLWT.com. It's really sad. I heard his mom has been out looking for him every day, said Elijah Spiegel, who lives near the pond where the body was found. I can't imagine what they're going through, said Cameron Rush, another resident of the apartments. It's heartbreaking for sure. And of course, we had EquiSearch working on this, EquiSearch Midwest. They came out with a statement. Our deepest sympathies and prayers are with Alex's family and friends during this time. We were honored to help search for Alex and to meet his generous and amazing family on a few occasions. The search is over. Alex will be laid to rest. I also want to thank Jen for reaching out, keeping me updated on the case. And once the discovery happened, there were so many different people that reached out. I can't thank you all, but I do appreciate each and every one of you that was keeping me up to date on the developments here. It looks like we have a pretty solid conclusion here, but let's talk in the comments down below. Do you guys have any thoughts on how we can wave the flag on this issue? It's happening too much. Why can't we raise attention to it? Why can't we make people aware of this? Why can't we maybe save a young man's life by sharing one of these stories? Let's talk about that in the comments. This Friday, we're going to do something a little different on Brain Scratch. We have a significant update in the Elijah Wood case, the racetrack murder case that we've covered previously. So I'm going to do what I call a re-scratch. It's going to be kind of an edited version of the original episode, but also include new segments with all the latest information. You don't want to miss that. It's coming this Friday on Brain Scratch. Please join us again, and I'll see you there.